Okay, we're here. We have all the cameras around. Everyone's ready to go. Okay, where are we at, Jim? Where are we at?
We're in the best part of any shop. We're in the press room. Right. And so we have it pretty well set up so that we can print here. It's a nice variety of presses. You can barely see my grandfather's Chandler and Price 8x12 press back there. But this is just the press room. This is like 5,000 square feet, bigger than most press rooms should be. But you know, even more, we're in the middle of 85,000 square feet of Hamilton Wood Type and Printing Museum.
As I walked in, you get this sort of Indiana Jones warehouse effect. You start looking as far as you can look. It's a couple city blocks. You know, how do you guys delegate what corner to go dig into?
There's two big advantages that we've got. I am comfortable just sort of letting it come along. You are always going to be walking by a spot thinking, you know, we should put some artwork there. We ought to get that press there. There's not enough type. When are we going to paint that damn thing? Those wires don't lead anywhere. That, I think, will always be the case.
Yeah,
but
right.
You start to think, well, what do we need to do to function for this weekend? You know, what do we need to do to get the workshops going? If you call me up and say, I want to print here for a week, am I ready for it? And so you start solving those little ones, and hopefully they kind of tie into the overall.
So wait, I could come here for a week and print?
You'd come here for 2 weeks and print.
And just show up?
Yeah, just show
adopt
up.
me?
I think we already have. So
okay.
It goes back to the idea that I think it's very cool because this is a working museum. You know, it isn't a place where you look at that stuff in the display case and got the touch screen to show you what it really is. You can come here not knowing anything about it and take a class and spend a day and walk out with 25 prints.
In the first 10 minutes here, I got to come in and work on the pantograph and make my, work on a Speakerman character and route it and play with it. And that's 10 minutes in, wood chips all over us, like getting dirty, you know. I guess I thought stuff would be sort of off limits, I mean, it is, but it's the idea that you can get in and actually use the place.
I like the Art Institute of Chicago. It's a great place, but essentially all the artwork is out of context. The Caravaggios were not made on the south side of Chicago.
Right.
And so the great thing, I think, is that this stuff is all in context. The type making, the printing, that's all connected to it. And so it's not that abstract typeface that might have come from somewhere else. It's not so much a collection of other places as pieces of a thing that fits together.
You can come here and dig around and make, make your version of the stuff that you can feel the real tactile quality. In 10 minutes, I felt that.
The thing that gets me is people will say, "What's your favorite type?" And that's a tough one because...
What is your favorite type?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. It depends on the day. And the thing is, if I set a poster in a given style, you could take the same thing and reconfigure it. We all get to pick up that old guitar and play a new song if we want to. And that's what I really like about the type, is that there's always a great new way to interpret it. And I always get to see people and I just go, oh, I never thought of that. And growing up, it was real apparent that we would always pull out wedding script to do the invitations or the parenthesis, and we would use the Cooper Black in the 60s because it was very funky and it looked like the sort of look that we wanted, and I was always intrigued by the way the shapes, well handled, conveyed the message in a way you wanted it to. And that has never changed. That's always exciting to me.
When I went to Hatch the first time, you couldn't, they let you walk through it. But the best part about going to Nashville was seeing some crappy little band promoting itself and these posters that I was stealing all over. A lot of larceny going on there. But they were all over town on the telephone poles, and it was for the people. It was this, who knows where these typefaces came from, so old, and it was on that great chipboard stuff. To see these pieces of art up, was kind of, made you a little wobbly. It's like it's worth something
Well, the thing that I like about it is that it serves a function. It's a very simple conveyance of a message in a really great way. And there is a nice aspect to letterpress printing now that people are making very high-end artistic prints, and I'm happy for that. But you can't miss the fact that this was a commercial way of spreading the word. That's what you want to do,
Yeah.
you know, whether it's the poster or the postcard. There's that additional thing that happens, which is the era that it was popular in, depending on the type that you're using, so that we get to sort of read into our past by looking at some of this stuff, but we reinterpret it. The printing history becomes American history, and it's all of your past merged together, because you don't realize that that was actually the type that they used for the bakery across from your house when you were growing up. You just know that you got kind of an affinity for that look.
I'm so excited. I mean, see, selfishly, to come up here, it's great. Love what you guys have done with the museum. It's great and all. But what can we do for field notes, right? Right? Now let's do some business here, okay? So,
Well, you know, it's a hand-used book, so it should be a handmade product. I mean, that's kind of ideal.
so what we're up here doing is we're doing spring 2015, and we're in July of 2014. So just to everyone watching, what goes into this? You know, these guys are gonna be printing basically sort of kind of all winter for us. Thank you, thank you.
This is why printers are good at math, because you get a project like this and it's like, what's the size of the cover? Like 5.5 by
5.5 by 3.5.
7
Yeah.
or 3.5. So
5.5,
we start thinking, well, you know, we do 25,000 3-packs, that's 75,000, but we're going to do 2 colors, so that'll be 150,000, but we'll do them 2 up, so that pushes us back
How much
down.
time are we talking to pull this thing off?
I'm hoping 100 hours will do it, but I should be able to crank about 25 to 30 a minute when things are going well. But you know, you start thinking about, we'll be locking it up, we'll be mixing the ink, we'll be changing out papers, we'll be changing layouts. All of that stuff will, you know, work its way into it, but it'll be really interesting just because it'll, you know, as we switch layouts, we'll get different and random overlaps, and
Yes.
the inks will do the same thing. The letterpress process alone is going to give us variations. You know, you're going to have that ink when it's freshly put on and it's nice and dark, and then there are times we'll be stretching it a little thin because I want to get 5,000 done today and I'm only at 4,200 or something. Anyway, the thing is, you'll get a little bit of that personality of it, and the press is old. You know, it'll be a 1920s press that the impression should be the same each time. It's a production machine, but it was understood that they wouldn't all be perfectly the same. They're going to have a little difference to them.
So this is what we, Matt and Brian were up here building these little sets to start going. And then, you know, if you think about how these are going to hit on our field notes, totally kind of random. We've got a whole bunch. I'll be building a couple this afternoon to get my 2 cents in. You know, we're going to, you know, have a very unscientific, scientific way of keeping it random. So no book is the same. And I'm here to guarantee that right now on film. Thank you.
And I promise they will. I'll do
You
them
know,
all.
just the little crust on this pig's ass
Sure.
is so great, and more of that. So I'm so excited that we have French on board to help us out. We have Pop Tone, we have Duratone, we have some Speckle Tone to make these our 75,000 books.
French, I first come in contact with because I said, we're going to need some paper for a conference we're putting on. Do you mind contributing a few sheets? And he sends full-size cartons and cut-size cartons. I don't even know the guy, and that's been consistent ever since. The books are going to be stunning because those colors of ink and those colors of paper, it'll be kind of exciting.
A lot of forces from the Great Lakes coming together for this thing. We've
Yeah,
got
it's
French.
like, it's a good
we've
thing
got-
the Edmunds
we've got the
Fitzgerald
museum.
isn't still flying.
Right.
It just
We've got field
straight
notes
down.
in on this thing. I mean, it's kind of dangerous getting that sort of talent on one project.
The thing that is so incredible about getting to work with you guys is we benefit a lot from the exposure to field notes. This is an incredible contribution that you guys are helping us with. I mean, to be honest, that will provide heat this winter when I'm running all them damn covers.
I mean, just we'll cut right to the chase. How can a kid, you know, they can donate all sorts of different ways. They can come here.
Sure.
And yeah, okay.
Yeah, you buy a poster, you buy a book, you buy some note cards through the store, it helps us out. It's as simple as that.
Every book, we're so proud to say this, every book, a little something from every book goes to help this place out. You know, and we've got French on board.
It'll be a big deal for Hamilton.
Stock up when those things go live.
Because if you don't buy them, I'm grabbing the rest.